up, you guys? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Daily Grind, we're back with another installment of Rob Reads You Shit that you probably don't want to read yourself. Now, before some of you get all up in arms because this is another Anthem video, just keep in mind this has been requested from me because let me tell you right now, there have been some major changes going on with Anthem, and I'm super duper excited. In fact, I did a quick run through on these patch notes, and I was just like, I can't read all of this. This is way too much. So there is one section in the middle that I am cutting out, which is actually like a bug section. We're just going to be talking about the new features that have been introduced, as well as some changes to the javelins, like some great freaking buffs that are going on. Let me tell you, I played on stream tonight, and let's just say Rob was a very, very happy boy. So let's go ahead and take a look at Game Update 1.014. Jesus, it's been so long since we've had an Update 1 here, you know what I mean? Like, we're talking about Update 20s, pluses with all these crazy numbers. It's fantastic to see things start from scratch. So this is gonna start off with Legendary Missions, Elysian Caches, and loot changes. So kicking things off with new features, Legendary Missions, they allow you to replay critical path missions again with a much higher difficulty level. One mission will be available per day that has no limit on the number of times it can be completed. These missions offer a new challenge and require team coordination to achieve victory. Always nice to see some additional difficulty being pushed into the game. Elysian Caches, now this is fun. Earn Elysian keys by completing daily challenges. So what you'll actually notice is when you log into Anthem, there's going to be a little insignia at the top left corner of your screen, and it'll be like a little signal and then a little 0. So that is a key. So basically what happens is if you have 0 keys, you need to go do your daily quest, which will also be marked off by that little insignia. And after you've done that daily challenge, you'll go ahead and notice that the number on your screen will actually change to the key that you picked up. So these keys can be used on Elysian Caches, which appear at the end of each stronghold after the boss has been defeated, to unlock vanity and crafting materials. Opening an Elysian Cache creates loot for each member of the expedition. Now, from what I noticed or what I experienced, I'm not sure if it gives you all the same thing. Now, in the past, I was pretty sure that they said that they would give you all the same thing, but I don't think it does. There are 67 unique vanity unlocks available, including vinyls, victory poses, emotes, and arrivals. You will never get a duplicate vanity item. This is our first version of the rule set for Elysian Caches in the game, and we'll look forward to your feedback and the data we gather from your play. That's one of the things that I absolutely love about BioWare, is they're like soaking in all of the information that we throw at them and taking it and running with it. So I'm very, very happy. Loot changes, which I'm sure many of you guys are interested in. Chests now have a chance to drop additional items and crafting materials in strongholds, free plays, and missions. So more loot just in general from chests. Apex creatures now have a chance to drop additional loot similar to the change made to chests. Apex creatures include Ursics, Titans, Furies, and Ascari/Luminaries. What the fuck are Ascari/Luminaries? Listen, I know like Ursixes, which I love. Titans, yes, I love them. Furies scare the living shit out of me. What the fuck are Ascari/Luminaries? Anyway, on Grandmaster 1 difficulty and higher, stronghold bosses will now drop more loot with a chance at additional masterwork and legendary items. That's one of the things that we've been like begging and pleading for, is the fact that the stronghold bosses should have a chance to drop legendaries. And they didn't before, so it's nice to see that implemented. However, I did hear that there is a bug that is going on with the big bug lady on the Tyrant Mines, so just be aware of that. Wait for a little patch before you jump in expecting stuff, because I hear there's a little bug on the big bug. So NVIDIA Highlights added support for NVIDIA Highlights to capture screenshots and game clips automatically. We're gonna skip over that one. PC settings added a field of view sliders for various cameras in game. This one I'm super happy about. Ground FOV adjusts the field of view camera during on-foot gameplay. Zoomed FOV adjusts the field of view on the camera while your weapon is zoomed. Flight FOV adjusts the field of view of the camera during flight. Swim FOV adjusts the field of view on the camera while underwater. And Pilot FOV adjusts the field of view of the camera when you are out of your javelin. They have an AFK timer, which, thank freaking God. Reduce the AFK auto kick timer from 10 minutes to 5 minutes. Get those AFK ass motherfuckers out of here. If they ain't doing shit, get them out. I'm gonna skip the NVIDIA DSS support. Performance. Improve the performance on gameplay effects that we're updating or running often to reduce performance strain. Example, effects include things like UI, weather, time of day, level art with animated props. Moving along, this one freaked the fuck out of me because I was playing this on stream and I hit the Forge and literally it's fucking instant. The Forge can now be accessed via the main menu when you're in Fort Tarsis or the launch bay. Supposedly that comes from the pause screen, and then there is no longer a loading screen when entering the Forge. It is like smooth like butter, and I love it, and it still kind of freaks me out. But you know what? We're good on that. We're gonna go ahead and skip bugs and issues because it's a long list. And there's like things for strongholds, javelins, gears. If you want to see that, I'm going to go ahead and link all of this down below. But I want to go ahead and jump to the actual other things that have been introduced, like the features, the fun shit, right? So we have Masterwork changes. Double the rate at which Masterwork gear with multiple charges regains charges. Yes! So we get more charges faster. Ranger Venom Darts, which is Tactical Onslaught. Colossus Railgun. Ooh! Okay, I like this one because this one's like an armor piercer. Interceptor Cluster Mine. I don't actually use Cluster Mine very much, but... Oh, and I do have to pause here because we're about to talk about storms. I'm all about Rangers, Colossuses, and y'all know I'm an Interceptor main. But when it comes down to storms, I don't play them. I don't know anything about them. I'm pretty sure I have not even equipped anything on my storm. Everything else is Masterwork except for storms because I won't touch them. So if I glaze over a little bit when talking about storms, don't be mad. Things can't be for everyone, okay? So, Ice Storm, Winter's Wrath, and Ball Lightning, Seal of the Open Mind. So those are all going to regain their charges faster, which means you can use them more. Fixed several exploits related to Masterwork and Legendary drops that were allowing unintended drop rates when a player was downed. Added a new audio effect for when a Masterwork / Legendary drops in game. I'm going to be completely honest with you, I had a Legendary and a bunch of Masterworks drop, and I don't think I was paying attention enough to it because I didn't hear it. Colossus components, ablative shielding, increased buff to 40% for 10 seconds, was 20% for 5 seconds. So wow, they not only doubled the efficacy, but they made it last even longer. Grand Entrance, improved the ability to reliably trigger on heavy impacts and air melee slams. Reinforced Hull increased the buff to 33%, was 20%, and removed cooldown. Listen, I love me some cooldown removing. Shock Treatment was hitting enemies with Ordnance Launcher ability temporarily lowers thruster heat buildup by 30% for 5 seconds. Now, taking damage increases... Wait, what? What? Taking damage increases all damage by 8% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 10... Wait... 80% by taking damage? Okay. I'm happy with this. I like this change. Okay. Stalwart Badge was on Shield Break increases all ability damage by 40% for 5 seconds. Now, when hit with the status effect, increase all gear damage by 40% for 10 seconds. Yeah, I mean, it's better, I guess. Synchronized Frame. Changed to hitting an enemy from defeating an enemy. Ooh, I'm liking that. I am liking that big time. We have Colossus Gear. Fist of the Crucible. Was Victor's advantage. Defeating an enemy increases flamethrower damage by 30% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 5. Okay. Now, Striker's advantage. Hitting an enemy increases flamethrower damage by 12%. They're just going up. They're just going up because now it's hitting an enemy increases flamethrower damage by 12% for 10 seconds, stacking to 10. So I'm into that. I'm definitely into that. Best Defense increased base damage by 25%. Black Powder increased base damage by 25%. Cooldown reduced to 1 second. Was 4 seconds. I don't actually use black powder, so I don't know. Solvent Green increased base damage by 40%. They're making some good changes. Titan's Hail was upgraded burst mortar. Special shells burst across a wide area. Burst mortar can now trigger explosive combos. Now, upgraded burst mortar. Special shells burst across a wide area. Creates a large physical explosion for each enemy hit. So, well, I don't know. See, like, the explosive combos, fantastic. But, and in this case, because the combos, the damage from the combos usually bypasses enemy defenses. In this case, you don't really need to prime an enemy to do the large physical explosion for each enemy hit. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that, but you know what? I don't use Titan's Hail that much anyway. So, moving along, we have Interceptor. So this is my baby. Survival algorithm increased to 40% for 10 seconds from 20 to 10 seconds. Talisman of Power increased to 60% for 10 seconds. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember all of the names of this stuff, but Conductive Lattice was performing a small melee hit streak. 3 detonates an electric explosion. Now, melee hits detonate an electric explosion once every 2 seconds. So this, I haven't gotten to parse out because maybe a small melee hit streak is not necessary, because I wonder how many seconds that is. But then again, maybe if you're killing enemies fast enough, I don't know, because every 2 seconds, I feel like that should parse out very similarly, right? 3 hits, 3 hits probably is like every 1.25 seconds. I don't know, I haven't done the math on that, but it sounds fairly similar, except one requires you to do a hit streak. This one doesn't require you to do a hit streak, but it does have a cooldown, so we'll see. Vengeance Matrix was all damage is increased by 25% for 5 seconds when suit health declines. Now, on low armor, damage taken is reduced by 50% for 10 seconds. Oh, that might be good. I might have to take a look at that. Wave Salvage increased to 40% for 10 seconds from 40% for 5 seconds. Now, Wave Salvage is whenever I believe you pick up ammo, you get a boost. Way of the Swift increased to 60% for 10 seconds from 50% for 5 seconds. We're just giving you all the buffs. Way of the Bold increased to 40% armor restored from 20. Oh, so for those of you guys who don't know what Way of the Bold does, you get more health back. Well, you get health back whenever you kill an enemy. And this one, they've gone increased to 40% armor. That's a fucking lot of armor. Jeez. So like 2 enemies will almost get you all the way up to full. And I mean, shit, you shouldn't be that dead. Way of Integration increased 30% for 10 seconds from 30% for 5 seconds. Interceptor Gear Caraft's Talon increased base kick damage by 200%, removed cooldown, increased to 50% armor restored. Oh my god, I love it. Renari's Charge increased base damage by 25%, removed cooldown. That's always good. Let's see, Serpent's Veil increased base damage by 35%, change to trigger on melee hit from melee kill. I'm into this. Shadowclaw was, because the thing is, you can put down the Serpent's Veil and then you can go hit enemies, and even if you don't kill them, because here's the thing, especially when you get into like some of the harder content, when you don't necessarily kill enemies super duper fast. So now this is on melee hit, the fucking toxin is just gonna get higher and higher and higher. I'm into it. I like how they're thinking. Shadowclaw was Wraith Strike instantly recharges with a small hit streak. Now launches 2 Wraith projections that seek enemies. So it's just kind of like fucking doubling the amount of projections you get. So does that mean you could potentially hit 10 enemies at once? Because it teleports to 5 targets. I see what they're doing. Absolute... Remove requirement of being above target. Increased explosions. That makes a lot of sense. I'm feeling very good about that. So Ranger Components, Tactical Advantage was increased heat engine heat threshold, max stamina by 35%. Weak point hits lower thruster heat buildup for 10 seconds for 5 seconds. Now increases heat threshold, max stamina by 50%. Weak point hits lower thruster heat buildup by 80% for 10 seconds. Geez, you could just float around. Wonder if you could literally just never come down from the sky based off of that. Badge of, wow, do you see all of these big changes that they're doing? Okay, was increase assault launcher by 15%, performing large hit streak 10 will instantly add 1 ultimate charge. Now increases launcher by 30%, performing a large hit streak 10 will instantly add 3% ultimate damage, so you're getting more no matter what. Victor's Resolve was increased blast damage by 50% and decreases impact damage by 20%. Performing a small multi-hit kill instantly restores 25 armor. Now increases blast damage by 50% and decreases impact damage by 20%. Performing a small multi-hit 2 restores 25% armor. So you like are working less but getting more armor. Definitely nice. Second Wind was Defensive Bulwark, so they've changed the name over. Increases all gun damage by 25%. On low health, increases gun damage by 25% for 10 seconds. That was kind of blah. Now increases all damage by 25%. On low health, increases gun damage by 60% for 10 seconds. That's a big boost. Elemental Ops was increased fire damage and max heat capacity by 20% and fire resistance by 20%. Increases elemental effects applied to enemies by 20%. Now increases fire damage and max heat capacity by 50% and fire resistance by 50%. That's a lot. On hit streak 5 applies acid to the target. It's great because it's like debuffing. It's debuffing an enemy, so I guess I could see where that is. Because I don't know, it's kind of weird, but okay, sure, we'll give it a shot. Combined Arms was increased grenade damage by 5. Defeating an enemy with assault launcher gear increases grenade gear damage by 60% for 5 seconds. Now increases grenade damage by 30%. Jeez. Hitting an enemy with an assault launcher gear increases grenade damage by 60% for 10 seconds. That's a nice buff. Airborne Advantage was increases impact damage by 35% and decreases blast damage by 35%. Hovering increases all resistance by 10%. Now increases impact damage by 50% and decreases blast damage by 20%. So it's a little bit of a trade-off there. It's a little 15% lowered, but hovering increases all resistances by 25%. So that's a decent trade-off. That's actually a really good trade-off if you're a hoverer. I'm not a hoverer. I don't know about the rest of you guys. General's Favor was increases assault launcher recharge by 35%. Defeating an enemy with melee increases grenade damage by 50% for 10 seconds. Now it increases grenade recharge by 40%, so that's an additional 5%. Hitting an enemy with melee increases grenade damage by 45% for 10 seconds. So they increase the grenade recharge by 5%, but they reduce the grenade damage by 5%. So they kind of just like swapped it a little bit. Vanguard's Badge increases melee damage by... the thing about that is legitimately because of the fact that increases grenade recharge by 40, not assault launcher recharge. So this synergizes way better with itself now because it increases grenade recharge. It's not assault launcher recharge. So you get your grenades faster. Hitting an enemy with melee increases grenade damage by 45%. That makes way more sense. That makes way more sense than like assault launcher to melee with grenade. This is like grenade, melee, grenade. I like that way better now. That is way better. Vanguard's Badge was increases melee damage by 30% and electric effects by 30%. Performing a melee hit, melee kill restores 20% shields. I was looking into the future because look at this. Increases melee damage by 40% and electric effects by 40%. Performing a melee hit restores 40% shields. We're getting like a lot of like staying alive bullshit going on. Ranger's Gear, Argo's Mace, increased base damage by 25%, so Rangers are getting a melee buff, definitely nice. Avengers Boon, increased melee damage by 210% for 20 seconds, was 110%. Nice. Cold-Blooded, changed to on-hit, increased melee damage by... Wow, they are really pushing for some melee. Changed on-hit, melee, increased damage by 235% for 10 seconds, was 135% for when freezing enemies. This is just on hit. It doesn't even have to be when you're freezing. So that means that if you hit a target with shielding and it just deals damage to them, but it doesn't freeze them, you're still okay. Okay. Embers Lance, increased explosion damage. I'll take it. Explosive Blaze, changed to on hit and removed cooldown, was on igniting enemies. Nice. Grand Opening was upgraded Seeker Grenade, splits into Seeking Submunitions, Ambusher's Fury, defeating enemies from above, grants 75% increased weapon damage for 20 seconds. Now, upgraded Seeker Grenade splits into Secret Submunitions, Striker's Fury, hitting enemies grants 60% increased weapon damage for 20 seconds. I'm so glad they got rid of the from above clauses, because I'm shit at like flying and then dropping, flying and then hitting down and then dropping down, so it's nice to see that gone. Recurring Vengeance, upgraded Seeking Missile, combo effect, impact after defeating an enemy, regain 100% charge, can occur once every 7.5 seconds. Upgraded, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Upgraded Seeking Missile, combo effect, impact, detonating a combo now grants 100% charge. There's no cooldown on it. There's no cooldown on it, okay? Hold on. There's no cooldown on it. And it's just detonating a combo. It's not even killing an enemy. It's just detonating. I need to play my fucking Ranger. Jeez. The Gambit, increased damage of ice explosions. Love you. Now we're on to the Storm part, where I will not understand any of this. So just letting you know. So we're just gonna blaze through this. Storm people, let me know down in the comments if there is something that you're absolutely jizzing your pants about. But aside from that, just understand that I don't understand any of this, okay? Amulet of Winter, increased 30% damage for 20 seconds, was 20 for 20 seconds. Mark of Clarity, increased to 40% armor restored with no cooldown, was 20% with 10 cooldown. Nice! Mark of Ruin, increases fire damage and fire effect while Blast Seal recharges. Focus Seal damage increases by 40% to 20 seconds. Now, increases fire damage and fire effect. After applying a status effect, increases fire damage by 50% for 10 seconds. So, Focus Seal damage increases by 40% for 20 seconds, while Blast Seal recharges. So this is just applying a status effect. So you don't even have to have your Blast Seal recharging. This is just any time that your status effect is going. Oh, I think that's pretty good. I think it'll be up more than not. Mark of Wraith, increases gear damage and lowers gear recharge rate while Focus Seal recharges. Blast Seal damage increases by 50% for 5 seconds. Now increases gear damage and lowers gear recharge rate. Detonating a combo causes a large electrical explosion. Nice! Maybe. I don't know. Token of Daring was increases elemental damage and decreases physical damage. A shield break increases seal damage by 20% for 20 seconds. Now increases elemental damage and decreases physical damage. On shield break, instantly recharges all gear. I mean, that sounds pretty good. I'm not sure, but it sounds pretty good. Token of the Master increased to 60% for 10 seconds, was 60% for 5 seconds. Token of the Pupil increased to 60 seconds for 10 seconds, was 60% for 5 seconds. Tome of Precision was increase electrical damage and electrical effect. Sniper Rifle weak spot kills increase electrical damage by 60% for 5 seconds. Now increases electric damage and electric effect, defeating an enemy. So it doesn't even have to be a sniper kill. Just defeating an enemy increases electrical damage by 10 seconds. Yo! These storms are getting a lot. Storms are getting a lot. Vanguard's token increased 40% for 10 seconds, was 10% for 20 seconds. 40% for 10 seconds instead of... Okay, listen, I don't know what I'm talking about, but geez. Storm Gear. Hailstorm's Renewal. Removed requirement of being above the target. Oh, I love it. Increased base damage by 25%. Seal of the Open Mind, remove the requirement of being above the target. Nope, I might just play the Storm now. Now permanently has 2 charges. Venomous Blaze, increase the base damage by 50%. Change from every 3rd hit to every 3rd consecutive hit. I don't know what that means. Winter's Wrath, increase the base number of charges and recharge state. Okay. 10,000 Suns was upgraded Burning Orb combo effect. Chain Striker's Wrath, after hitting an enemy, gain 5% increased damage for 5 seconds, stacking up to 20. Now upgraded Burning Orb combo effect, Chain Striker's Wrath, after hitting an enemy, gain 10% increased damage for 10 seconds, stacking up to 10. So it sounds like you're probably going to be able to stack this up faster. Black Ice changes to hitting an enemy freezes nearby creatures, was defeating an enemy. Okay. Must sustain the beam on a single creature for the duration of the ability. Alright. Inscriptions. As a part of our effort to improve inscription ease of use, all inscription values now have the plus and minus value at the beginning of the state rather than after any text. For example, supply X drop rate will now read as plus X supply drop rate. This has been applied to all inscriptions. Components. Ranger basic components. Cross-armed basic ranger components now increase blast damage by 35% and reduces impact damage by 15%. From 50 and 20. Wait, increases blast damage by 35. Oh, so did they bring it down? Oh, these are basic components. All right. And reduces impact damage. So basically you get is less. Oh. Thermal regular basic ranger component now increases fire damage and max heat capacity by 25. Was 20, so that's a buff. Grenade augment basic ranger component now increases grenade by 15%, was 5%, so that's a buff. Convergent core basic ranger component now reduces blast damage by 15%, was 30. Ooh, they're giving you less survivability here with your basic components. Is that just me? Is it just so the ranger is the only one who's getting a little bit of a hit? Grenadier, let's see. Convergence core reduces heat blast damage. Okay. Grenadier inscription basic ranger component now correctly reduces the cooldown of the ranger grenades, and its text is updated to reflect this. Grenadier inscription basic ranger component was reduced from 35% cooldown reduction. Oh, they're making the basic rangers kind of shitty. Universal components, which really I don't use. Special arms ammo component now only affects heavy pistols and grenade launchers. The machine pistol ammo component now also affects auto cannons, and the name has been changed to rapid arms. Let's see. Previously added universal component, symbiotic surge, increases javelin armor by a large amount, increases all damage by 50% for 10 seconds when picking up a repair pack. Ooh, yes, I actually got this in a drop today. Soften blows increases javelin shields by... I got this in a drop today too. Increases javelin shields by a large amount. Resistance by 75% for 5% when shields run out. Thermal cooling increases the javelin's heat capacity to allow the javelin to fly more effectively. Reduces the time you stay overheated significantly. Nice. That'll be great for you storms out there. Rejuvenating ammo. Increase reserve ammo for all equipped guns. Replenishes armor by 20% when picking up ammo pack. That's nice. Emergency power, an inscribed component that augments javelin ultimate gear and can increase damage. Ultimate meter refills instantly when armor is critically damaged. Can occur every 120 seconds, so that's like 2 minutes. Added brand new universal Masterwork components with patch 1.04. Note these Masterwork components only drop in Grandmaster 1, 2, and 3 difficulty levels. Bloodlust, an inscribed component that increases melee weapon damage, increases melee damage by 75% for 10 seconds when killing an enemy by using melee. Okay. Acid slugs, add specialized storage for enhanced shotgun ammunition, increased damage. Hitting 7 shotgun shots in a single burst applies acid on the target. Ooh! Giant Slayer, adds specialized storage for enhanced marksman rifle ammunition and increases damage. Increases weak point damage by 50% after a consecutive marksman rifle hit streak. Nice. Focused Freeze, adds specialized storage for enhanced light machine gun ammunition and increases damage. On consecutive LMG hit streak 10, shots freeze the target. Oh, so this is like fucking the Siegebreaker's passive, or the passive on LMGs. Feedback Loop, adds specialized storage for enhanced assault rifle ammunition and increases damage. Increased damage resistance by 50% for 10 seconds when firing the last shot in an assault rifle magazine. So you get more damage resistance while you're reloading, which is nice. Gear, upgraded Interceptor Wraith Strike, tech geared to match new functionality. Interceptor projects a ghost of itself that can warp up to X targets. Active auras apply to targets struck. Works really, really well with the new Wraith Strike Grandmaster, I believe. Weapons, reduces the weapon reload time, but reduce the weapon reload times by speeding up the reload animations for the Colossus heavy weapons, autocannons, and grenade launchers. Thank God. because those were painful. Now, we're reaching the last bit, which is one of the most important bits for me. Interceptor melee can now execute multiple melee attacks with a single held input. Literally, you just hold down the button and your melee goes off. Interceptors can now detonate combos even if they have an aura currently active. This allows the Interceptor to detonate the combo to do extra combo damage without having to wait for their aura to expire. In addition, detonating a combo will refresh the duration of the currently active aura, regardless of the primer that is detonated on the creature. For example, if you have an ice aura active and you detonate a creature primed with acid, it will refresh the duration of your ice aura. Definitely like that. Increase the max stamina thruster meter for all javelins by 20%, reduce the base overheat durations for javelins by 20%, fire status effect on players no longer instantly overheats a javelin but instead starts to quickly build up until overheating. Added new audio for thrusters failing to ignite when frozen by an enemy creature, improved audio notification for when Javelin ultimate ability is ready, and added the ability to enter hover underwater. That was a ridiculously long read, but clearly it looks like BioWare is doing a lot to improve their game. I am highly impressed. And for any of you guys who actually stuck out this long through the entire thing, go ahead and toss a plus down in the comments below, because I want to know if you managed to stay through the very end and got those amazing Interceptor changes. Regardless, as you guys probably could infer, I actually played on stream tonight and it was glorious. Yes, I even got a legendary live on stream for everybody to see. So the luck is running thick tonight. Very, very happy with all of these. Again, I will be doing sporadic Anthem coverage just for you guys out there. I know that there's some people who really, really do like it here, but if I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to just do a little smattering of it here and there, and I'm also going to be, it's mainly because of the fact that I want to focus on my lifestyle channel at the same time, so just keep that in mind. You'll still get a good amount of Warframe. I'll toss in some really juicy Anthem news when we get it, and if you guys are curious, definitely go check out the lifestyle channel. Regardless, that about does it for me for now, and as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. Oh my god, like all night long I was mashing the melee key and everyone was like, just hold down the button, Rob, just hold down the button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.